Mother, why does he walk toward the fire when everyone else runs?
Because the fire is where he was raised, child. Other men were raised in homes, in warmth, in the arms of people who loved them. But your father was raised in the flames, and you cannot burn what was already forged in fire.
Let them come. Let them gather their numbers. Let them sharpen their tongues and polish their lies and march in formation with their banners of borrowed courage. Let them come with everything they have, every weapon, every whisper, every alliance built on cowardice and convenience. I have seen armies before. I have watched them assemble on the horizon like storm clouds, dark, wide, certain of victory. And I have watched them scatter, not because I was stronger, but because I was still standing after everything that should have killed me. And nothing unravels an army faster than a man who refuses to fall. I was born in war. Not the kind fought with swords and shields, the kind fought in silence, in cold rooms, where love was supposed to live, but didn't. In long nights, where a boy taught himself to stop crying, not because the pain stopped, but because no one was coming. The kind of war where the enemy wears your mother's face, your father's voice. The kind where the battlefield is your own chest, and the casualties are every soft thing you ever were. That war did not end me. It ordained me. I learned things in that darkness no comfortable man will ever know. I learned that pain has a rhythm, and if you stop fighting it, if you breathe with it instead of against it, it becomes a pulse. Your pulse. I learned that loneliness is not emptiness. It is a forge, and what it produces depends entirely on what you refuse to let it destroy. They destroyed my peace. So I built war in its place, and I built it well. There is a difference between a man who learned to fight and a man who was born inside the fight itself. The first knows technique. The second knows survival. The first can be disarmed. The second cannot, because his weapon is not in his hand. It is in his marrow, in the way he breathes, in the silence before he moves. You can take a sword from a soldier, but you cannot take the war from a man who was made of it. I did not choose this life, but I mastered it. The way a wolf does not choose the winter, it simply learns to hunt in the cold, while weaker creatures freeze. They called me savage for surviving. They called me heartless for adapting. But what was I supposed to do, lie down, beg, offer my throat to the same hands that already tried to strangle me once? No, I offered my throat once. I watched the hands reach for it, and I swore on everything I had left, which was nothing, which was less than nothing, that no hand would ever reach that close again. So let them send armies. I have fought outnumbered since the day I was born. Every room I entered had more enemies than allies. Every table I sat at had blades beneath it. Every smile aimed at me had teeth behind it. And I survived all of it. Not with armies of my own, with patience, with silence, with the kind of cold, calculated will that does not announce itself. It simply acts, and the world rearranges. They think numbers give them power. They think volume is strength. They think if enough voices shout the same lie, it becomes truth. But I have watched loud men crumble. I have watched entire empires built on noise collapse into nothing the moment one quiet man stood up and refused to move. I am that man. I do not shout. Shouting is for the uncertain. I do not threaten. Threats are for men who are not sure they can act. I speak once, low, clear, and the ground remembers it. There was a time they thought they had buried me, and maybe they did. Maybe for a season, I was beneath the earth, silent, unseen, forgotten. But they made a mistake the arrogant always make. They did not check whether what they buried was a corpse or a seed. I grew in the dark, roots first, deep, twisted, gripping the stone beneath the soil with the kind of fury that has no sound. And when I broke through, when the surface cracked and the light hit my face for the first time in years, I was not the same thing they had put into the ground. I was something older, harder, something that had learned to feed on the very dirt they used to cover me. Let them send their armies. I will meet them the way the mountain meets the storm, unmoved, ancient, indifferent to the noise. Every scar I carry is a battle I already won. Every silence I hold is a scream I chose to swallow, because the energy was better spent becoming dangerous than becoming loud. I carry war inside me the way priests carry prayer, constant, sacred, woven into every breath. And this is what they will never understand. They prepare for war like it is an event, a moment, something that begins and ends. But for me, for men like me, war is not an event. It is a climate. It is the weather I was raised in. It is the only sky I have ever known. And you do not frighten a man with rain when he was born in the flood. I pity them, quietly, the way you pity a child who picks up a blade without knowing what it costs to swing one. They march toward me carrying weapons they have never truly used, not the kind that draw blood from your own hands first. They have not paid the price of war. They have not felt the weight of it sit on their chest at night like a stone that will not move. They play at conflict. I live inside it. So when they arrive, and they will arrive, because the arrogant always come, always certain, always loud, I will be standing exactly where I have always stood. Not behind walls, not behind men. Alone, the way I have always been, the way the war made me. And they will see something in my eyes that stops them before a single blow is thrown. Not rage, not hatred, something worse, recognition. The understanding that the man standing before them has already fought the worst battle that exists, the one against himself, and won. What is an army to a man who has already conquered his own darkness? What is a sword to a man whose wounds taught him that pain is just another language, and he speaks it fluently? What is death to a man who has already died once inside himself and clawed his way back with nothing but will and the cold memory of everyone who hoped he wouldn't? Let them come. I was born for this, not trained, not prepared, born. The way iron is born in the earth under pressure, under heat, in the black silence where nothing gentle survives. And iron does not run, does not negotiate, does not beg. It only endures. And in the enduring, it becomes the blade,